Alright, we're back with part three, no kayfabe.com with Perry Saturn. And we just had a conversation about what led you to recovery in when you was in your downtime. And something that we talked about was when you got on recovery and all that. So I was just curious to know what are the things that you was doing then when you was getting clean? What did you go do? Where did you sleep? How did you keep your mind clear?
I ate all kinds of shit food. Developed an eating disorder because instead of getting high, I was eating ice cream and junk like that, you know, and just started to try to accept the bad choices that I made. You know, that was part of my recovery, I guess, accepting that I screwed up and that I can't change that I have to work on changing what I do next, you know. That was the biggest part of it, because it's hard to accept the fact that you screwed up so much shit, you know, and that lost so much and just, but, so I think that was one of the hardest parts, just come to terms with the fact that just that I lost everything, you know, and that I couldn't change that, and I just couldn't dwell on that, and that I can't affect the things that I did, but I can affect the things that I'm going to do, you know, and I just concentrated on that, you know.
So again, what are the things you was doing in the street besides eating ice cream? And you was still homeless?
No.
While you was in recovery? While you was getting clean?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what to do, you know, trying to get my life together, you know. So we got my wife at the time, she was just my girlfriend. She was also homeless, you know, and we moved in with her uncle, and he let us stay there, you know. And I looked for a job, and I found a job at a factory that made telephone poles, you know. So that's what I did for a while when I wasn't sleeping, because I was a meth addict. So when I went off the meth, you're tired all the time, you know. And we lived with her uncle for a while until I got working, you know, and made enough money to where we could get our own apartment. But then we fell into it, you know. Once we got our own apartment, I was working at the factory, and we thought, well, you know what? Now we got our life together. We can get high once in a while if we want, you know. But next thing I knew, we were homeless again. Lost everything, because we were back to doing drugs all the time. I wasn't working. But this time we were homeless for about a month. Went back in with her uncle and got another job. Started doing shit with wrestling, you know, like interviews and stuff, and started getting that together and starting to turn my life around that way, you know. And been fortunate enough to where like the town I live in is a really small town. There's no work there, and I'm not a factory worker. I try it, you know, but that's just not me. So I make enough money now doing stuff with wrestling to where I can survive, and that's what we do, you know. And like my major vices are, you know, I drink Diet Coke like it's going out of style, and more than what my wife likes, I'm sure. I play Madden on the PlayStation, you know. But that's,
I can't not picture you playing no Madden. Yeah. That's funny.
And most like I'm pretty goal orientated right now, just trying to get to where wrestling, I'm part of that business somehow, full time again, you know. And I'm gonna have to, I'm sure, prove myself, hopefully get an opportunity. That opportunity may not come. I can't control that, you know. But I can control that if I do get the opportunity, I make the most of it. I don't know if I deserve forgiveness, but I want to believe that I'm worthy of forgiveness. So that's what I concentrate on, you know. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I heard when that guy said, 'cause I told him earlier. I said, yo, you know, it said Perry Saturn's supposedly one of the nicest guys in the industry, and he was like, for real? I said, yeah. I heard this guy said, and when he said it, it's like I couldn't. You look at you and you can't picture how. But now that I met you and you know, I see what you know, how you are, how humble and how you talk, and just genuine for one, and I just say that to say, you know, you say you don't know if you think you deserve. I think you deserve it. You know, I really do.
Yeah. Well, you know, but it's not up to me. Like the people that I fucked over, which there's a long list of them, because that's part of me being an addict. I lied to my friends. I stole shit like that. Only they can decide if you know they want to forgive me.
Yeah.
I can't control that. All I can control is if they decide to forgive me, make sure that I'm worthy of it. You know, which is what I do. That's what I'm doing. Like I can't. I'd love to say, okay, that's it. I get a second chance, and I'm going to be full-time something wrestling. I don't have that power, but I have the power to say if that chance comes, I'm going to make the most of it.
No doubt. That's the best way to think. What are your thoughts on the indie circuit?
I don't do that much with it. You know, I'd like to do more. It's been around forever, right? So I work as much as I can, you know, whenever I can. So I don't know.
Like, you're not booked every week?
No, hardly. You know, maybe once every month.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but I haven't been on TV in a long time. I'm just getting out there, you know, meeting different people and stuff, you know, involved with it, you know. So we'll see what happens, you know.
Yeah. Can you speak on the carny lingo?
I was just talking to somebody about that. From what I understand now, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's for carnies, you know, like carnivals, because that's everything at a carnival's a work, you know, which wrestling originated in carnivals, you know.
Yes.
And so you take the word ears, because it's not for everybody's ears, and you say the first letter of the word, and then you say the word ears, and then you finish the word. Like Beersano, bottle. And that's how you talk carny.
Yeah.
Did you understand?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so that they don't do that anymore, right? I don't know how many of the boys couldn't do that, you know.
It's part of kayfabe, I think.
Yeah,
and if you say wrestling's dead, then that's probably dead too, right?
Yeah, but I tell you what, like the Mid-South, when I worked there, me and John did with Lawler, them Southern guys spoke that carny better than they did English. They had that Southern draw, and they spoke it lightning fast, and you learn to catch on, you know.
All right, let me ask you
I don't think, I'm way out of practice, but I used to be okay with it, you know.
Yeah.
But not like Tommy Rich or Eddie Gilbert. These guys, it would be just like we're speaking English, you know.
Yeah. All right, I know the word kayfabe go over certain words like that came from the carny language, right?
I don't know where they came from. You know, I know that like makes sense if wrestling came from carny. You know.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. You know.
Well, all right. Well, you wouldn't know the answer now.
But like Mark, that comes from
exactly
Mark
from
comes from
right?
carnies. Yeah.
Okay, this is the question that I want to ask. Most likely you probably don't know from what you're telling me, but let's see if you do. Okay, the word mark comes from carny. The word jabron comes from carny. Jabroni.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Okay, well, what I don't understand is how this, if a carny language is spoken the way you just said was spoken with the E's, the way you just said the A's and the E's, whatever, then how does mark become a carny word?
Because mark is the person that you're trying to fool. That's your mark. You're trying to get over on him.
Okay.
It's a con. You understand? Like if you're a grifter, you grift a mark too. It's the same thing. And what the marks are the people in the crowd, you know, in the carnival. Yes. So I'm doing the guessing your age or something.
Oh, I get it.
So you're the mark. There's another guy who looks like a regular guy another mark, but he was really part of the
Part of the show.
Yeah, you know, and we're working a scam on you.
So they named the marks literally.
Yeah,
in
that's
the, in the
yeah.
carny
That's
industry?
you're the mark. You're the person that they're trying to con.
Okay. So carny is not only used the way you said, it's used in words like mark, which is not the way the analogy you gave earlier.
Yeah, but the wrestling fans they're still called marks. You know, to like I still call them the marks.
Yeah, I know.
You know? So, but that originates from them.
Carny language.
Yeah, being a mark. You know.
Yeah. I understand.
I think carnies, it's also like a gypsy thing, because the carnivals, they were the gypsies traveling, and the gypsies were, you know, that's what they did.
Beg you
They
for money and act like
scammed
they
you and all that, you know what I mean? That's where it comes, you know, you have to go to the origin of it all, you know?
It's funny,
Fit Finley, his job was at the carnivals in Europe and stuff when he was young. They would actually have people come in the ring, just fans wrestling a wrestler, and Fit was the wrestler that they did that to, because he's a tough son of a bitch. You know what I mean? And but that was something that Fit did. You know.
Damn, if I'd have knew that, I would have asked him that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, Fit did that, you know, because he worked that whole carnival circuit in Germany and England and stuff, you know.
Yeah. So, certain words, like I said, don't have to be used the way the first analogy you gave, right? Certain words such as mark, jabron, and jobbers.
Jobber, but is that a carny word or a wrestling word? I think I'm guessing that's a wrestling word.
I think Hyper did mention that it was a carny word.
See, I don't know.
That jobber came from the word jabron.
That's
what Roddy Piper said.
Okay, well, I have a different.
And he says a carny word, so.
So then I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, you know, a jobber is somebody that always does the job.
Yeah.
You know, to me, you know what I mean? Jabroni, and that makes sense if you try to analyze it the way Roddy says. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, because you're doing the job, or they call it doing the favor. And a guy that always does the job is a job guy.
So again, okay, now I have it again. The word don't have to be with the E and the way you use
No,
that.
speaking carny, though, is a language that you use certain words like jobbers, jobber. I could say, you know what I mean? But that's
carny.
That's like speaking French or Italian. It's able, if we're two carnies and he's the mark, we can talk without him knowing what we're saying. It's speaking carny, you know?
Yeah. All right. I think I got it.
It's like some secret language that we can communicate without everyone else understanding. So it's easier for me to fool him because you're helping me, and he doesn't realize it. You know.
Is there any other ways that any other example you could give me of kayfabe besides what you told me already?
No, that's what I know of.
Besides that heading.
That's what I know of it, right. You know.
Okay.
This is the big awkward pause. I know I'm supposed to keep talking, but I answered the question and it was a...
So you think it's impossible for kayfabe to exist today?
Yeah, it's not.
You don't think there's no way to trick the fans, you're saying?
No, I don't think, because everybody knows what's going on. The internet, you can't get away with anything anymore. And again, I'll bring up the fact that Brock was backstage at WrestleMania, and it was all over the internet.
Yeah.
You know, well, I don't know who put it out there, but somebody did. You know,
the camera behind the camera.
Yeah. And some of it, like, it might even been a guy that works there, and that was his job to get it out there, because then it creates a buzz, because maybe I wasn't going to watch Raw, but now, wait a minute, Brock was backstage, I want to see what's going on, so I will watch. So maybe they expose stuff to promote the business, too. Yeah, right.
Man, it's like that.
And everybody wants to be insider and know, you know,
Yeah.
little. So nothing is kept secret anymore. How about they just seen on the news? Them Secret Service guys got busted with all them prostitutes. Did you see that? A bunch of Secret Service guys got busted with prostitutes.
Yeah, man.
10 years ago, they were still with prostitutes, just you would have never known. Now you can't get away with anything.
Yeah.
Hey, and if you're going to give your life for the president and you want to run around with some hookers on your off time, I don't have a problem with that. Me, personally.
Yeah, of course
Hell, in
not.
fact, I think it should
It's
be government
true.
issued, like these guys laid.
You know,
They're giving their lives for the president.
Yeah, it's true, honestly, because like, what do I care of who you have sex with, or that's stupid.
And you know that's going on forever, but now you can't get away with anything.
Yeah.
Everything's out there.
And it's like, what's the big deal?
It's, some people want to shine off the next person's,
Or bring the next person down.
Yeah, that's
because
exactly.
they're
to pull themselves
It's
up.
again back to that envy.
Yeah.
It's
It's true, man.
you get a big bucket of crabs, and not one will ever escape, because anyone that's close to getting out, another crab pulls them back in.
Right.
Same analogy. Nobody wants anybody else to have better than what they have. That's a human trait, and you have to work to improve that flaw. And most people don't, or just don't realize that they have that flaw. Because we're all, I think, at nature envious somewhat, and you have to accept who you are and what you have and improve at that,
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I've seen people with things and be like, damn, I wish I had that. But I work to get it
Yeah.
afterwards.
See, I'm just, like, I've never thought, oh, why him and not me? I'm the type of person that would think, well, fuck, if he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that must be a form of envy, but I don't.
Yeah.
But I'm good. I know that I want it too, so I'll work to get it. To where some people are just mad that you have it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Man. All right, you were trained at House of Hardcore. What was House of Hardcore, and what exactly did you do there?
There was the ECW wrestling school, and we taught guys to wrestle.
Where, Philly?
It was on Long Island, and what town was it in? Oh, there's a Gold's Gym right there too. It's right in Long Island.
What year was this?
My last couple of years in ECW, 95 and 6 or 96 and 7, something like that.
Who you trained in there?
It was me, Taz, and Mikey Whipwreck trained there with us. Bubba Dudley worked there. He didn't train guys, but he kind of did promotion stuff there. We made it like Paul E. and Tommy Dreamer are all in Yonkers. So this was kind of like the Long Island branch of the office, and did different stuff there, and we trained different guys, students that, like all the Team Taz were all students from there,
Any notable students that are working nowadays?
No, not
like one?
No, they were all ECW guys, Danny Doring, and trying to think, they're Team Taz guys.
Yeah. Can you speak about the Flock?
Boy, that was a traveling party. All we did was party, man. All we did was party. All we did, it was we were what you've seen on TV is what we were, and just constantly on drugs from town to town. Disco said it was that whatever year that was, 97 or something, he called that the mauling tour, that we mauled women across the country. Everywhere we went, me, Kidman, Riggs, Lodi, Raven, that's all we did, party. Some of the guys were drinkers and some of us were anything we could get, and yeah, we just, unfortunately though, the partying became more important than the wrestling,
Yeah. Was the first time you tore your ACL in the match with Big Dick Dudley?
Yes, yeah, in ECW.
You tore it more than that?
No, I tore my right one in WWE, tore my left one in ECW.
ECW, okay. The reason why I asked is because I asked you earlier if you still could flip and things like that, and you say yeah, but I noticed you don't do it much in your matches at all.
Because I got to be so big. I was ECW. I was smaller, more, you know.
Yeah, I noticed you was a little slimmer.
Yeah, I
You
was
still
so
big though, but you was a
but
little
no,
slimmer.
like I was like gonna burst big in WWE and stuff,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
all gassed up, and
Right.
I was such a bad drug addict, and the way I compensated that was just by loading up on steroids and growth hormone, just everything to make sure that I still looked like I wasn't an addict. You know what I mean? I didn't look like the guy that was out all night partying. I looked like the guy that was spent the night in the gym.
Yeah.
When in fact I was out all night partying.
Yeah.
But I was heavily gassed and way too big, and just that caused me to not be able to do it. You know, I could still do it, but I was concentrating
Little
more
harder?
on, huh?
It was a little more difficult.
No, I think I was trying to change my wrestling
style,
style
okay.
and be more of a big strong man or some
Yeah.
bullshit. You know, I don't know where I got that in my mind that big was better. But I think
Seemed
that's
more
what
technical to style to me that you had in WCW. Yeah, it was a real technical wrestler.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mat wrestler.
Yeah, and kind of lost that, and I shouldn't have. You know,
Huh?
I kind of lost that. And I
It
shouldn't
was
have.
real good.
Yeah, I
It was
shouldn't
real
have done that. But that's
good. It was good. It stood out a lot. It showed you know how to wrestle. You know?
and I spent a lot of time and effort into being able to do that. You know, and I kind of lost it.
Yeah.
So because the matches got to be quicker and there wasn't as much time, you know,
Yeah.
I can make excuses. I just screwed up and didn't do it as much as I should.
Did it affect your career, them injuries, those?
No, I don't think the
ACLs
injuries
at all?
did. No, I don't think they did.
No?
I don't think they affected my career. I did enough other stupid shit that affected my career.
It didn't slow you down. I mean, you know, I don't mean affect it literally. I mean just slow you down where you think you probably could have worked more, done more.
Actually, you know what? I don't even notice a difference with
Oh,
my
really?
knees. Yeah,
Cool.
I really don't like. For a while it did, you know, but once they're recovered and like I don't wear braces when I work or anything anymore. You know, I don't notice a difference.
Yeah.
So
Wow, so you don't get no type of pain in the
No.
rain. You don't feel.
no.
Wow. All right, back in '93, you were being paid $40 and sharing an apartment with 4 other wrestlers. Do you recall your thoughts and goals at that time?
It was just me and John had the apartment. It was Axel and Ian Rotten and the Spiders, which were the headbangers.
Yeah.
They lived in the apartment, and they all left Memphis, and me and John took over their apartment. It wasn't just me and John lived there. And we were trying to make it, you know, we were
So you was in ECW at the time?
no, Memphis, Mid-South,
Oh, okay.
you know, and what we were doing there, we accepted that they don't accept now. We were paying our dues,
Yeah.
you know, learning to work. We were in the territory. We knew it was a necessity to get in, farther down, you know. So it was something that we knew we had, like on-the-job training, you know.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool, even though we were broke but our job, we were wrestlers. That's what we did. We wrestled 6 days a week, you know, and so it was cool, you know. And we just had hope that we'd get to the next level, you know.
Well, you said that's something they don't do now. Like you said, pay their dues.
Yeah, because there's nowhere to pay your dues. Like there's nowhere to pay your dues. Like me and Scotty Raven, it used to drive him nuts. He used to argue with Goldberg about this all the time. Scotty used to tell Goldberg that he never paid his dues, and Bill would say, "Well, I paid my dues in football." And Raven would go, "Well, that's not the same thing." But Bill said, "Yes, you know what I mean." Stuff like Scotty's old school. He worked territories, Portland, Mid-South. You know, he worked all over the place.
Didn't get paid for, you know, well, got paid, but peanuts. You know?
Yeah, in the beginning, that's because
Yeah,
that's what
that's
you
paying
do, you know.
dues.
Yeah, and the guys not. One, there's not an opportunity to. There's not the territory to go to, and so they get to the first time they make a steady living at wrestling is in the big time. You know, to where before. When I was breaking in, you worked all them little territories, you know.
Yeah.
Drive, and I think when me and John worked Memphis, we drove about 2,000 miles a week altogether. Just, you know, it was brutal, you know. But that's all part of paying your dues, you know.
Wow.
Can you speak about the training center in Tampa, the FCW?
That place blows me away, man. I was just there, and it's outstanding.
Who's the guy that runs it again?
Steve Kern's there,
Steve Kern.
Tom Pritchard's there, Norman Smiley, and Dusty Rhodes. Like they have a show every Thursday there in the building, and these guys are getting the most they can get out of wrestling without being a territory. You know, they're like, and they're getting things that I never got that they're lucky to have. And they're told all the time they're lucky they have it, so I believe that they know it. Like on Wednesdays, Dusty Rhodes works with them. That's what they do on Wednesday. They work on promos. How lucky are you to have Dusty Rhodes working with you on promos? You know, and they're in the ring. The school's outstanding. If I was breaking in, that's where I would go. No way around it. Whatever it took to get there, I'd move there, whatever. That's where I would go.
Did you meet Andy, the guy who won the Tough Enough to Talk kid? I think he's Dan Spivey's nephew or something like that.
I met Spy. I didn't talk to him much, but yeah, I did meet
Andy.
him. Yep,
right?
yep.
He's there?
Yeah, Spivey's nephew's there. Wyndham's got a kid there. Rotundo's got 2 kids there.
I heard Rotundo had a
Richie
kid.
Steamboat's there. Rick Steamboat.
Ricky Steamboat's son.
Yeah. Shaw Gorell's there. Eddie and Vicky's daughter.
Really?
Yeah, so there's some people, there's some second generation
Wow,
there.
that's
And
some
Shaw's
talent down
outstanding. Richie Steamboat. Both them Rotundo boys are good, you know. Yeah, the Wyndham boy is good. Husky
Sounds
Harris
good.
is the Wyndham. Yeah, they're all good, man. They're getting
Sounds
them.
good.
Yeah.
Sounds
It's
good.
a good, but there's a bunch of good people down there working, you know. And them kids are working as
How
hard as
that
they
kid
can.
stands out to you, Andy? Spivey's nephew.
You know, I'm trying to. I did meet him, but I didn't talk to him that much. You know what I mean? Because there were so many of them there, and I was only there a week. You know.
He won the Tough Enough, you know that?
No, I didn't.
They just did the last show and he won it. I liked him too in the show. He was pretty good, man. I think he deserved it. I think finally they got somebody that really deserved it, you know?
Oh, good.
Compared to all those other guys, Maven and all these fucking pewter. Kevin Dunn, can you speak on Kevin Dunn? I heard so many different stories about. I know he's been there for how long?
And you figure, got to be the best there is at what he does, because he's kept his job forever.
He stays in the Gorilla?
No, he's in the truck.
In the truck, okay.
In the truck,
Yeah.
and their production is heads and shoulders above anything, you know, in that type of business, and that's Kevin Dunn. You know what I mean?
What are your thoughts on him? What type of person he is?
He's always been cool with me. Like, I have nothing negative to say about him. He's always cool with me. I never
You say much bad stuff about nobody.
Well, I have some people I got bad shit to say about that.
Yeah, I
you know.
just mentioned them, right?
But like, Kevin's always cool with me. I didn't have, like long conversations with him or anything like that.
Okay.
But we had a business relationship, and he's outstanding at his job.
I heard he hates wrestling. Is that true?
I can't imagine him working there. That's one of the people always ask me what the biggest difference between WCW and WWE was, and I say all the time, WWE, they love the wrestlers. So I can't imagine him working there and him hating wrestling. I just can't imagine it.
All right. We got 5 more minutes. I'm gonna end it with these 5 minutes of you just giving me a couple of stories, a couple of road stories, if you can, something funny. I don't know anything.
Okay,
I love road stories.
We talked about Memphis a lot, so I'll give you a John Cronus story. We lived. It was pretty much the ghetto down in Memphis where we lived, you know. And I mean, right outside, we lived in there was like 3 apartments and then 3 apartments over us. And we lived in the middle, one on the bottom, and right out in the front, the hookers were walking up and down, you know. Me and John walked down to the convenience. I think John needed cigarettes. So we get there and we're walking back and some guy goes, hey, you got a cigarette? And I get ready to say no, you know, because I don't smoke. And John's just a happy-go-lucky, friendly guy. And John's, yeah, here. And he goes and he hands the guy a cigarette. And then next thing you know, the guy goes, and I'll take all your money. And he pulls out a gun. And we're looking like, and all of a sudden, John takes his finger and sticks it in the barrel of the gun.
Fucking kidding me.
So now the guy is looking at John, and I notice his finger is not even in the trigger guard. So I snatch the gun as hard as I can. And John starts jumping up and down. John starts going, shoot him in the face, shoot him in the face. And I go, or he can get out of here. And John goes, yeah, and he spins him and kicks him in the ass. He goes, get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
So John goes, let me see the gun, let me see the gun. John's a crazy, so I look, I see a sewer, and I throw the gun down the sewer. And I go, no, John, come on, let's go. We're walking. It's just making me nuts. I go, John, what the fuck were you doing? He goes, oh, I stuck my finger in the barrel, you know. He pulls the trigger, it blows up in his face. I go, like Bugs Bunny, John? And he goes, yeah, like Bugs Bunny.
You gotta be
So
kidding.
we walk about another half a block. I go, John, you know that doesn't work, right? He goes, yeah, but I didn't know if he knew that didn't work.
Oh my God.
So I go, John, don't you have to be pretty fucking stupid not to know that? He goes, Perry, don't you have to be pretty fucking stupid to walk up and try to rob 2 guys that look like me and you?
It's true.
And I didn't know what to say to him.
It's
and
true.
John did shit like that all the time.
That's funny. The story you told me earlier with Kevin Nash.
We were in Portland, Maine, and I think we must have went out to the bar or something, you know, and we were headed back to the hotel. We take our somas we're going to go to sleep, you know, when we get back to the hotel. And the somas hit us too hard, too soon. And we're about 50 yards from the hotel. I mean, you could see it. It's a Marriott right up the hill. And Kevin's driving. We're in a Lincoln Navigator. And he pulls over and he looks at me. He goes, Pete, he goes, I can't drive anymore. so I go, okay, Kevin, I'll drive. And we both get out and walk around, which seems like it took us 10 days. If anybody's taking somas and too much, you know, you get muscle shake, you know, your body shakes and it's hard to control your muscles. So we get around to the switching where I'm driving and he's now the passenger. I sit down, I put my hands on it, and I look and I go, Kevin, I can't drive, man. He goes, okay, I'll drive. And we switch again, and he drives up the hill. And from there, it's pretty much a haze. The next thing I remember is the hotel staff. I'm passed out in the hallway of outside my room. I couldn't get my key in, and they're waking me up, you know, making sure I was all right, helping me get in my room.
Were you on the plane ride from hell? You heard about that?
With Regal?
No, but all right, now that you
No, I
mentioned
wasn't.
that-
I heard Regal had a problem on a flight and they had emergency landed.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Or so that. But
You know anything about that? You was on that?
no, I wasn't. That I was going to say. I heard something about that.
I'm
Steve.
talking about with Kurt Angle and Brock. They was almost pushed the door open or something like that.
Oh, the charter.
Yeah.
And Vince
Yeah,
too, wrestling
yeah.
with them and stuff. Vince wrestling. Yeah,
Vince
I was on the.
Supposedly on the flight before, with the one with Vince was supposedly a flight before. This one was with.
Oh no, I wasn't on that one then.
Oh.
No, in the Regal one, I think Steve like passed out or something on a plane and the emergency land. I thought you were talking.
Oh really?
Yeah, I wasn't there for that, and I don't know if it's true. That's what I thought you were talking about. But if I was on the Brock, Kurt Angle one, I was fucked up and I don't remember. But I was on the one when Vince was wrestling with Kurt.
You got one more quick one to end it?
Oh, let's think of one. Okay, me, Dean, Eddie, and Chris. It's Hershey, Pennsylvania. We just got done working. We stopped at a Hooters. Eddie's going to the bathroom. Me, Dean, and Chris are sitting at the table. And Dean goes, "Somebody go get Eddie." And I turn around and look, and Eddie's at the bar arguing with some guy. So I go over and I go, I'm gonna get him. I go, come on, Eddie, fuck him, let's go. And I'm trying to talk Eddie. Eddie's hot-headed, you know. And finally, I get Eddie to go, and Eddie goes, yeah, get that. The guy goes, get that fucking spick out of here. So I turn, I go, what? And I had such a bad temper. I go, get the fuck up, and I walk over to him, and I kick his stool to so he has to stand up. Well, I kick his stool so hard, it flips up and hits the waitress in the face. The guy falls straight on top of his head, out cold. All the marks in the fucking restaurant start chanting, Goldberg, Goldberg. Dean grabs me, he goes, come on, Goldberg, let's get out of here. And we went down.
I love it, man. Thank you for your time.
All right,
I
man.
appreciate everything you've
Cool.
done for me.
All right,
It's
man.
an honor to have you here, man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
NoCavePayment.com, we out.